On today's edition of the Bluffton News, details on the May River cleanup and a look at how the Waddell Mariculture Center impacts our Beaufort County waterways. Welcome to the Bluffton News. I'm Anneliza Itkor, and we have a lot to cover: business, entertainment, and of course the latest local news. But first, let's start with Bluffton's current headlines. Late last week, Martin Guzman of Bluffton was arrested for allegedly tattooing a 13-year-old girl in an apartment without a valid state license or her parents' permission. The girl reportedly posted a picture of the tattoo on Facebook, and a relative told her father about the photo. When confronted, the girl told her father that Guzman had given her the tattoo in her bikini area after Thanksgiving at an apartment in the estates at Westbury. After the father reported Guzman to the sheriff's office, it was learned that the 22-year-old had a reputation for doing tattoos for underage Bluffton middle and high school students with a tattoo machine he bought off the internet. Guzman is not licensed for tattooing in South Carolina, and it is unlawful under South Carolina law to perform or offer to perform a tattoo on a person under 18 years of age. A Jasper County paramedic received no lenience from the State Health Board last Thursday. Heather Schuman of Ridgeland had appealed to the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control Board to let her contest state regulators' suspension of her emergency medical technician paramedic certificate. Schuman was arrested in January by DHEC's Bureau of Drug Control for using misrepresentation, fraud, forgery, deception, or subterfuge to obtain a controlled substance. Schuman's suspension is one in a series plaguing South Carolina EMTs. Since September, more than 6 EMTs have been suspended for unlawful behavior. Beaufort Jasper Water and Sewer Authority is encouraging its customers to check for household leaks in their plumbing and fixtures during this week's Fix a Leak Week. Fix a Leak Week is sponsored by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency's WaterSense program, which seeks to protect the future of our nation's water supply by offering people a simple way to use less water with water-efficient products, new homes, and services. BJWSA reminds customers to look for WaterSense labels when replacing fixtures. WaterSense labeled products have been independently tested and certified to save water and perform as well or better than standard models. Customers can visit BJWSA's website and Facebook pages for more information on Fix a Leak Week and conservation tips. This past Saturday, Bluffton High School was the venue for a concert by former American Idol finalist Scott MacIntyre. During Season 8 of American Idol, MacIntyre was a source of great inspiration, having been legally blind since birth. His experiences compelled the writing of By Faith, Not by Sight, which was published in 2012. The spirit of the local concert was one of hope and encouragement, with all proceeds going to benefit the Pregnancy Center and Clinic of the Low Country. His book was for sale at the event, and there was a meet and greet afterwards.
In the book, I talked a lot about some of the struggles I've been through, some of the times in my life when I felt hopeless or I felt overwhelmed by circumstances around me. But I also know what it's like to come through those circumstances and hold on to hope. And come out on the other side and reach for your dreams and goals. And I'm really excited to share that story in the book, and I'm really excited to share it at Bluffton High here.
And spring is taking over the Low Country. The Beaufort County Parks and Leisure Services will close the Buckwalter Gymnasium in Bluffton from March 20th through the 24th for the Low Country Home and Garden Show. The gymnasium will resume normal operating hours Monday, March 25th. And here's what's happening around the state. South Carolina Electric and Gas is warning customers of scam artists posing as company employees. The utility says it's received several reports of people portraying themselves as SCE&G employees over the phone. In several instances, the individuals ask customers to buy a payment card from a local convenience or drugstore, then call back with the card's information for immediate bill payment. SCE&G says when employees call concerning an unpaid bill, they identify themselves and would not ask customers to purchase payment cards. Bill payments are accepted at SCE&G businesses' offices by mail, authorized payment agencies, online, or by phone. 56-year-old Jim Adcock, a former Orangeburg County coroner, stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from the funeral home he worked at for nearly 30 years. Deputies are still trying to figure out exactly how much money is missing from the Dukes Harley Funeral Home. Adcock was hired at the funeral home in 1980, the same year he became deputy coroner. He was appointed coroner in 1990 after the former coroner was convicted on a federal drug charge. Adcock lost the race to keep the office in 1992 and again in 1996. Adcock was working as a funeral director when he was arrested. He was charged last Thursday with breach of trust. Parents of children who attend a Greenville County elementary school are receiving warnings about bat sightings in the building. The Greenville County School District used an automated calling system to notify Fountain Inn elementary parents about the bats appearing at the school. District officials are getting help from a pest control company to deal with the bats. Obie Lyles, a spokesman for the Greenville County Schools, said a trap is being installed over the access area to allow the bats to exit but not re-enter, and that all drains and roof flashing are being checked, resealed, or closed with wire and concrete. For more information on these headlines and more, please check out the media sources you see listed on your screen. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Coming up, BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun brings us the buzz in Bluffton as the Bluffton News brings you hot off the presses, and Shellie West-Hodges has the Bluffton Business Report.
The smoked chipotle burrito is really good.
Yeah, my zesty cheesesteak burrito's great.
Are you familiar, Pete, with the phrase, don't mess with success?
Yeah.
Because this is not only messing with success, this is taking success to the cliff and shoving success over.
Success said, oh, please, don't do anything, leave me alone.
These burritos didn't even hear that. They heard, oh, put, and that was it. It was just like, wah. Egg everywhere.
Wake up to sirloin steak and fluffy eggs with the new zesty cheesesteak and smoked chipotle breakfast burritos. This is how you Sonic.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining me now is BJ Frazier of the Bluffton Sun. So BJ, what do we have going on in Bluffton these days?
Oh, there's always a lot going on. And you know, Bluffton is a beautiful state of mind. And what the town has done recently is approved a $48,000 expenditure to beautify the town even more. And that's going to include some projects like the welcoming signs on either end of Old Town are going to be spruced up, and one of them is going to be moved and make it more attractive. They're going to do some more plantings along Buckwalter Parkway, and outside the MC Riley School, they're going to put some more trees and so forth. And they're planning a big Arbor Day planting. And the interesting thing, couple of things. Number one, it's not just Old Town. They're now spreading out the beautification throughout the town. And those $48,000 are coming from the town tree fund and from the town itself and from the ever generous Rotary Club, $10,000, and a lot of volunteer help. So the community spirit is big, and it's going to make the town look even better.
Well, I'll tell you, it's already beautiful, but it's going to be nice to see what those changes do.
Certainly is.
Now, on a less happy note, I understand that a local charity recently closed down.
Yeah, Room at the Inn is has been around since 2007, and it's a home for homeless pregnant teenagers, which of course is a very, very sad aspect of our life around here. And they had trouble funding as the economy went through the downturn recently, and they finally decided to close up shop. At the time, there were about a dozen moms and kids there. But Catholic Charities of Charleston is planning to open a few centers over the next couple of years, so there will be some place for these poor people to go.
Good. Well, I'm glad that they are addressing the fact that there is a need, and that hasn't just evaporated. Now, lately there's been so much conversation about how money is being divided up between the University of South Carolina. Is there indeed a state funding parity at USCB?
Well, there certainly should be, but unfortunately, just to give you some numbers, USCB right here gets $940 per student from the state, and upstate facilities get $1,700, and then in Aiken, I don't know what they do, but they get $2,300. And what the USCB is saying that, you know, they want parity not so much for new initiatives, but their population has grown so much that they need this funding just to keep the level of competence they have now. So They've asked the legislatures once again from Beaufort and Jasper County, go to bat for them. Let's make this a level playing field and make our local university even better than it is.
Good. Well, hey, steps in a positive direction. BJ, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Shellie West-Hodges is here today bringing us some helpful information about business licensing in this week's Bluffton Business Report. Shellie, let's start off by explaining to our viewers the difference between incorporated Bluffton and unincorporated Bluffton.
Yeah, there are different areas in town. Bluffton used to have originally 1 square mile, and starting in 1998 with the annexation of Palmetto Bluff, Bluffton has really grown, and we've had other areas annexed into the town, as in Sheridan Park, Buckwalter, Buck Island Road and Simmonsville Road. All these people and their places have been annexed in the last several years, but there are still some pockets that are considered unincorporated Bluffton, so we really need folks to know the difference in getting their business licenses where that comes into play.
Well, when a business is trying to learn about the licensing process, where can they find that info?
Well, first, if they know where they're going to locate their business, they need to find out from the town if that is an incorporated area or an unincorporated, and they can do that through the town's website, which is townofbluffton.com. They can also call the town, which is 706-4500, and they have all this information online. They can look at the areas. It will tell them which sides are Beaufort County and which sides are in the jurisdiction of the town of Bluffton. So then they know whether or not they need a town of Bluffton license or a Beaufort County license.
It's interesting, with all this recent growth in Bluffton, we have a tendency to think about Bluffton as a new town, when in reality there are some businesses there that have been open for over 20 years. Can you tell us about one of those businesses? Yes,
I would really like to mention that Bluffton Pharmacy is celebrating 25 years of business this year in Bluffton, and they started out, Jim Salter was our original pharmacist here in town, and still doing a great business and a great service to the community. And we really want to congratulate him. So if you stop in there, please tell him congratulations on 25 years.
Well, congratulations from WHHI. Shellie, that was great information. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
When we return, Kim Jones has the latest on the May River cleanup, and Al Stokes brings us news about the Waddell Mariculture Center.
Tara's Men's Den, located beside Tara's Salon at the Moss Creek Village, is a full-service salon for men only. Open Monday through Saturday from 9:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. We offer haircuts, color, highlights, waxing, and treatments for hair loss. No appointment necessary, so come enjoy a relaxing atmosphere for men only, and don't forget senior discounts every Wednesday. Call or visit us today. Our number is 843-837-5555.
Welcome back to the Bluffton News. Joining us now is Kim Jones, Water Quality Program Manager, and we are going to talk about the May River cleanup that is coming up. Kim, first off, just tell us what the details are about the event. When, where, what do volunteers need to bring?
Fantastic. Our 13th annual May River Cleanup and Earth Day celebration is going to be Saturday, April 27th, and the cleanup will be from 9 to 12 at the Oyster Factory Park down at the end of Wharf Street. And this year we're expanding our celebration, our Earth Day celebration, with Experience Green in the Carson Cottages, and so that will be going on from 11 o'clock until 4 o'clock that day as well.
That's going to be fun. So it is an all-day event.
It sure is.
Real quickly, if volunteers want to come out and help with this, how should they dress? What should they bring?
Great question, great question. We'll have all the supplies available for them for the actual cleanup part of the morning. We do recommend that anybody who might be doing a land-based walking around part of the cleanup to wear sturdy shoes, and possibly if you have hip waders and don't mind getting into the shoreline, that would be fantastic as well. But otherwise, bags, gloves, drinks, sunscreen, bug spray, we've got all that covered for everyone.
Oh, that's great. So you make it very easy for us to come and help keep our town looking absolutely beautiful. What type of community involvement is going to be there?
You know, we've always had fantastic support for this event, and this year we have no different expectation. We already have the commitment from some of our partners to provide kayaks for people, though we are looking for boaters as well. I need to mention that. But we have Outside Hilton Head, who's going to provide some kayaks, along with Marsh Grass Adventures. We're going to do an environmental education portion down at the Oyster Factory Park as well. And we've got USCB coming with student research, the Conservation District, and a bunch of other folks. And then we have the private partnerships that are going on with Carson Cottages and the collaboration with Experience Green to do the Earth Day celebration at Carson Cottages.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
It will be.
Give us some of the details of the Waste Management Think Green grant.
Yes, this year we were fortunate enough to be one of 50 communities throughout the nation that was awarded a $4,000 Think Green grant, which is through Waste Management and Keep America Beautiful. So Keep America Beautiful and Waste Management partner up to improve communities in which they serve, and cleanups are one of the ways they do that. So they're going to help us get a lot of our supplies this year.
Terrific. Now, does Waste Management, do they have any other types of programs?
You know, they are doing some fantastic sustainable measures, and we recently, the town of Bluffton, partnered with Waste Management and Sun City to do a recycle bank competition. Unfortunately, while we didn't win that, it would have been a $100,000 grant. There's a great program with Recycle Bank that people can log in their recycling and earn points that they can redeem for rewards. So Waste Management is doing more than just supporting cleanups. They're helping to be more sustainable in our community as well.
All right. Well, Kim, I will definitely be out there on that day. Looking forward to it, and thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm now pleased to welcome Al Stokes, manager of the Waddell Mariculture Center. Al, we were just discussing the upcoming May River cleanup, so it's great to have you here to talk about our Beaufort County waterways. Now, why are the waters found in Beaufort County so unique?
Well, there's a number of reasons. Beaufort County itself is quite unique in the fact it's composed of about 1,000 square miles, and over half of it is saltwater marsh and waterways. And it's quite interesting in the fact that there's no significant watershed around Beaufort County, and there are no freshwater rivers or streams that empty into Beaufort County's waters, so the salinity is extremely high here. Seawater is around 35 grams per liter salt. Our water in our estuaries in the main bodies run 28 to 32 grams per liter salt, so they're quite salty and support this wonderful Spartina marsh that we have here. And the marsh itself acts as a filtration system to remove nutrients like nitrogen and phosphorus, but also during the winter months when it dies, and you'll see these huge racks build up in our tidal areas. That this is nothing more than an organic fertilizer that it's time released. It decomposes over time and stimulates phytoplankton production, and basically the beginning of the food chain for our waterways. So it's an extremely interesting ecosystem that we have here. In addition to that, we have these tides that you will find pretty much nowhere else in the United States. Maine has a high tide. It approaches around 9 feet. The tides go down to about 4 feet in North Carolina and Myrtle Beach area. Jacksonville below us about 4 feet. But here in Beaufort County, our tides will run 6 to 9 foot twice a day. And already this year, we've had tides exceeding over 10 foot. So we have a tremendous amount of energy and flushing into our systems. Well, these tides go in and out in our systems, but they never remove everything, the nutrients. It takes about 28 days for water from an area to move back out into the ocean. And that means those organics that we put in there from the Spartina have time to break down and fertilize and stimulate that phytoplankton growth.
Well, it seems like there is a very delicate balance that we have to maintain, and I would imagine that's where the Waddell Mariculture Center comes in.
Exactly. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have the kind of clean water that we have because of this environment and the stability with the salt. It allows us to produce marine fish and crustaceans because of the high salt content. Fish larvae and crustacean larvae and even mollusk larvae, they can't metamorphose in lower salinities. So having stable salinity levels here is the best place in the world to be growing marine organisms.
Great. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day, Mr. Stokes.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
After the break, our Bluffton forecast for fun, and you'll meet our Bluffton News Pet of the Week.
Okay, so it's a romantic dinner for two. Now I've already cut some tomato. Time for the vinaigrette. You are gonna love this. Okay, we need some sesame seeds. My favorite pan. Now, what's really important is
with Merillat cabinets, you'll discover function that's irresistible.
good thing I'm not the jealous type.
Always working hard to help you make the most of your recreation time. Our entertainment reporter, Kim Viljac, has outdone herself this week with her list of coming attractions. Most importantly, Kim, the Bluffton Farmers Market. It's going to be having its big grand reopening. It's going to be in full swing this week. Tell us about it.
Yes, I'm so excited. I love this time of year. We are opening for our season opening this Thursday, March the 21st. Now, this is when we go back to our regular hours from 2 p.m. until 7 p.m. And it's going to be a great market. I'm really looking forward to this season.
I am too. I tell you, I look forward to this time of year, well, all year long. And I'm always so grateful that it's in full schedule more than it is in winter schedule. Tell us a little bit about the vendors you're expecting to see around this year.
Sure. Well, of course, we're going to have that great, fresh, local produce that you're used to seeing down there. A lot of the old familiar faces will be there. You'll see some new ones too this year. The grass-fed beef, the honey, the kettle corn, the prepared foods, the specialty foods. Now, this Thursday coming up, we have a long list of things going on. We'll be doing our chef demonstrations. That will be happening at every market. But this week, Matt Jordan is going to be doing that demo from the Old Town Dispensary in the Sage Room. And something exciting happening with the chef demo tent is we have partnered with Le Creuset, and they are going to be staging our tent for us. So we will be using their beautiful cookware. They'll be doing drawings, and that will be so exciting. Now, I know shopping at the market can be really hard work, so we'll also have Spa Vino on Calhoun there doing mini chair massages for you. We'll also have master gardeners there with your gardening tips. The Little Growers program will take place this week, as well as PEP. They'll be out with their pottery, and the folks from the Greater Bluffton Chamber of Commerce will be there as well.
And speaking of extravaganzas, we've got Easter on the horizon, and I understand there's a few fun things happening in regards to that.
Oh, yeah. And one of our favorites, of course, is the Church of the Cross Easter Extravaganza. And that will take place this Saturday, March the 23rd from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. And everybody is welcome. It's going to take place at their Buckwalter campus. And they'll have songs by Young Voices, free food, games, prizes, cotton candy, snow cones, t-shirt cannon, petting zoo, bouncy houses, and of course, a huge Easter egg hunt. So get those Easter baskets ready and bring them out this Saturday.
Well, this is all so much fun. Kim, thank you so much. It sounds great.
You bet.
Thanks for joining me for the news program that is all Bluffton all the time. I'm Anneliza Itkor for the Bluffton News. We'll see you next time.